Welcome to G-Fun Facts Online, where we dive deep into the science behind our world. Today, we're going behind the glowing screens and into the shadows of the digital realm. In the sprawling, interconnected world we all inhabit, a silent war is being waged every second of every day. Corporations, governments, and individuals are under constant assault from an invisible enemy. This enemy isn't after territory or gold. It seeks the new currency of our age, data. When defenses fall and a massive data breach occurs, the fallout is catastrophic, costing millions, destroying reputations, and affecting countless lives. In the chaotic aftermath, a special kind of expert is called in to navigate the digital wreckage, follow the faintest of electronic trails, and unmask the perpetrators. These are the digital detectives, and their craft is the intricate science of digital forensics. This is the story of how they trace large-scale data breaches. It's no longer a matter of if an organization will be breached, but when. This stark reality has forced a shift in cybersecurity, from just building walls to being resilient and ready to fight back. Despite the best defenses, attackers are relentlessly creative, using clever social engineering, unknown software bugs called zero-day attacks, or even hacking a trusted supplier to get inside. When they succeed, the consequences are severe. Financially, it's staggering. According to IBM, the average cost of a data breach hit a record high of $4.45 million in 2023. This isn't just one bill. It's a combination of discovering the breach, system downtime, and long-term damage to the brand. And that reputational damage is insidious. News of a breach erodes trust. Studies show up to a third of customers in fields like finance and healthcare would simply stop doing business with a breached company. Negative headlines spread like wildfire, tarnishing a brand for years. On top of that, there are massive legal penalties. Regulations like Europe's GDPR require companies to report breaches within a strict 72-hour window, with fines that can reach into the tens of millions of euros. It's in this high-stakes, chaotic environment that the Digital Forensics and Incident Response Specialist, or DFIR specialist, becomes one of the most important people in the room. Their mission: to bring order to chaos and answer the critical questions of who, what, where, when, and how. Every investigation follows a structured, methodical process, often based on a framework from the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST. It breaks the entire response into 4 key phases. Phase 1 is preparation. The best response starts long before an attack even happens. This is about creating a detailed incident response plan. Who's on the team? Who gets called at 3 a.m.? How do they communicate securely when their own network might be compromised? A huge part of preparation is visibility. You can't protect what you can't see. This means implementing robust logging and monitoring. Logs are the digital footprints of every single action on a network. A user logging in, a file being accessed, a connection to an outside server. Without logs, investigators are flying blind. Finally, preparation involves practice. Teams run regular drills and tabletop exercises, simulating a breach to build muscle memory for a real crisis. Phase 2 is detection and analysis. This is where the real detective work begins. A breach might be detected by a security alarm, an employee noticing their computer acting strangely, or even a call from the FBI saying they found your company's data for sale on the dark web. Once the alarm is raised, investigators have to quickly figure out what's going on. Is it a real attack or a false alarm? Which systems are affected? What kind of attack is it? Ransomware? Data theft? And most importantly, is it still happening right now? This initial analysis is a high-pressure race against time. Phase 3 is containment, eradication, and recovery. Think of this as stopping the bleeding. The goal is to stop the attack from spreading. This could mean isolating infected computers from the network, disabling compromised user accounts, or blocking traffic to malicious servers. Once contained, the eradication phase begins. This is about methodically removing every trace of the attacker. It's more than just deleting a virus. It's patching the vulnerability they used to get in, removing any backdoors they installed, and changing all compromised passwords. Finally, recovery. This is where systems are carefully restored from clean backups and monitored closely to make sure the business is back on its feet, securely. The final phase is post-incident activity. The work isn't over just because the systems are back online. This is where the team learns its lessons. They produce a detailed report on the entire breach, from start to finish. What went right? What went wrong? Where were the security gaps? The findings are used to strengthen defenses and update the response plan, ensuring the organization emerges stronger and better prepared for the next inevitable attack. At the heart of this process lies the deep, technical work of digital forensics. Investigators have several core disciplines to dissect a digital crime scene. First is memory forensics. Many of today's most advanced threats are designed to be stealthy, running only in a computer's volatile memory, or RAM, without ever writing a file to the hard drive. This is called fileless malware. If you turn the computer off, that evidence vanishes forever. By capturing a memory dump, a snapshot of the live RAM, investigators can use tools like the open-source framework Volatility to find hidden malicious processes, see active network connections to an attacker's server, and even pull out command histories or passwords that only existed in memory for a moment. Next is disk forensics. This is the more traditional method, involving a bit-for-bit copy of a hard drive. Using powerful suites like EnCase or Forensic Toolkit, investigators can recover deleted files, reconstruct timelines of when files were created or accessed, and search the entire drive for keywords related to the attack. They can dig through system artifacts like the Windows registry or browser history to piece together a historical view of what happened on a machine weeks or even months ago. Then there's network forensics. Data breaches almost always involve stealing data across a network. This discipline focuses on capturing and analyzing that network traffic. The undisputed king of network analysis is a free tool called Wireshark. With it, a detective can see every single data packet flowing in and out of a system. They can filter traffic to isolate a conversation between a compromised computer and an attacker's server, and then follow the data stream to see exactly what was stolen. Finally, there's log analysis. As we mentioned, logs are the digital diaries of everything on a network. By collecting and correlating logs from firewalls, servers, and applications, an investigator can reconstruct the attacker's entire journey. They can see the initial failed login attempts, the one successful login, the movement from one system to another, and the final transfer of data out of the network. It's painstaking work, connecting the dots across millions of log entries to build the complete story of the breach. To see how this all comes together, let's look at one of the most infamous data breaches of the last decade, the 2013 attack on the US retailer Target. The attack didn't start with a direct assault. Instead, the attackers sent a phishing email to an employee at one of Target's vendors, an HVAC company. When the employee fell for it, the attackers stole their network credentials. Those credentials gave them a foothold inside Target's network. And here, they found a critical flaw. The network wasn't properly segmented. The area for vendors wasn't walled off from the sensitive network that handled payment data. This allowed the attackers to move laterally from a low-security zone to a high-value one. Once inside, they deployed a piece of memory-scraping malware called BlackPOS on the point-of-sale terminals, the cash registers. This malware would sit in the terminal's RAM and grab credit card data the exact moment a card was swiped. The data was then stored on a compromised server inside Target's network. Perhaps the most damning part of the story is that Target's security systems actually worked. Their security tools detected the malware and sent alerts to their security team. For reasons that have never been fully explained, these critical alerts were ignored, allowing the data theft to continue for weeks. Ultimately, the attackers moved a massive trove of data, affecting over 100 million customers, out of Target's network to a server in Eastern Europe. The breach was a masterclass in digital forensics for the investigators who unraveled it. It required network forensics to trace the initial entry, memory forensics on the cache registers to find the malware, and disk forensics on servers to see how the data was stolen. Of course, investigators aren't operating in a vacuum. They're in a constant arms race with attackers who practice anti-forensics, actively trying to cover their tracks. They wipe data, manipulate logs, and use tools called rootkits to hide their presence from security software. But for every move, there is a countermove. Investigators have advanced techniques to recover wiped data, detect log tampering, and use memory analysis to uncloak even the most sophisticated rootkits. Beyond all the technology, the most important element is the human one. A digital detective needs deep technical knowledge, a sharp analytical mind, and a ton of creativity and patience. The work is high pressure and can take a significant psychological toll. And looking to the future, the field is evolving again. The rise of artificial intelligence and machine learning promises to revolutionize forensics. I can sift through massive datasets in a fraction of the time it would take a human, spotting anomalies and identifying new types of malware. But it also brings challenges, like algorithmic bias and the black box problem, where it's hard to explain how an A reached a conclusion, a critical requirement for evidence in court. In a world defined by data, the work of the digital detective has never been more vital. They are the unseen guardians of our digital lives, stepping into the breach when our defenses are broken. It's a high-stakes, relentless cat-and-mouse game, but it is essential for holding attackers accountable, learning from our failures, and building a more secure digital future for everyone. The digital detectives continue their watch, ready for the next inevitable breach. Thanks for tuning in to GFunFacts Online.